Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. How's it going? Sorry for the wait. I was ready to go, and then I realized I was not ready to go. If you know what I mean. All right. Go live. We're going live. I know we're live. You're watching right now, so we're definitely live. Post that live stream alert at stream alerts. Maximum warp. Didn't realize that would become like a rallying cry of this channel, but I kind of love it. All right. All right. Happy Tuesday, whoever is here. New week. Same problems. Actually, different problems. I don't remember what I said I was going to do over the weekend, but I did something. Yesterday, I added rudimentary multi-threading to the simulation layer. Tilemap. Hey, Scott McDonald. How's it going? You can be Scott until Scott Hopkins gets here, and then you got to switch to Diginanigans. Don't think you made it a day last week. How is everything going? It's all right. We've been testing out larger maps. So we like doubled the buildable area. And we added some camera motion. And the camera motion was a little slow because the simulation, the auto tiler and everything was running on the same thread and was blocking. So now we can do. Now we have no holdup. Now the whole auto tiler is on its own thread. So we have no speed. So we can manipulate immensely large tile maps. Like let's just build the full cube, the full Borg cube here. Let's hollow it out and watch that. You can kind of see it's actually auto tiling on it's like catching up. Like auto. So if I like plug a hole here, kind of freaks out for a second and then figures it out. Now it's back. Now it's gone. Now it's back. Occasionally it freaks out tremendously, but it seems relatively stable. That's because the flood fill is also on its own thread. So there's like so like the auto tiler is on one thread. The system that lets me place tiles and updates the appearance, that's on one thread. The flood fill algorithm is on a separate thread, so it's operating, it's updating. It's not blocking the auto tiler, so we have really responsive auto tiling, and then eventually the flood fill catches up. We're doing this in a way that is hilariously unsafe. Like lots of progress was made. Oh, you didn't need to switch to Diginanigans in advance. Hey, Ryson. Borg cube for the win. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, we've got it. We've got everything on some different threads. We're doing this in a way that is hilariously unsafe. But other than like the possible cache invalidation that's happening constantly, and some other stuff that might be going on. Have a great stream. You're off to school, Pheasant SC2. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Catch you later. So yeah, this is how we're doing it, and it's kind of ridiculous. So we're just using tasks because tasks are like kind of awesomely simple. So in the physics process for the game, excuse me 1 second, I feel a sneeze coming on. Oh, that was powerful. I sneezed myself right off screen. So we just have the main system. We have a main task, just a parent task. And if the task isn't done, we just return. When the task is done, we read out all of the output queues that were done in the time that we were from the task. So all the output gets read out and read back. And the main task gets started again. Digi, you're good. Probably better both to not confuse people on the Discord as well as to help curate what YouTube feeds you on this account anyway. Oh, for sure. Yeah, YouTube doesn't know me at all when I'm on this account, when I'm on Digital Iliad. Because I have like premium on my personal account, so that's where I do everything. I'm not gonna like pay for premium on this account too. So I never use this account. I just like subscribe to like developers I like, but occasionally I get that like weird raw YouTube recommendation where I'm like, I would never watch this, but YouTube doesn't know me under this alias. I think you'd be able to figure it out. Anyway, so in the main system, we have our separate fill task. This is our like parallel. It's called detached if you, depending on how you parent it. So we have our like main task. Right now, it just literally runs the same thing. You could set these up if these systems get heavier and we change our data model. We could set each of these up as an attached child task with like a continue with. So we could like have view system and then edit system as the view system continue with, etc. But right now these don't hardly take any amount of time. The only difference is that this fill task is its own task. It's a detached child task. And yeah, so it just does its own thing. So the auto tiler is on its own thread. The fill task is on its own. The flood fill is on its own thread. The hilarious part about this is that when this is done, it just updates the span. Like it just updates the tile block span. And there's the potential for contention between the tool system and the fill system, because they run independently and have no dependency management between them. So they're both just operating on this span. But it actually isn't causing a problem currently. And that's, I think, because the span is stable. We're not reallocating the span. Eventually we will, because we're going to want to tighten up the build area. Actually, maybe we won't. We could always just change the dimensions of these guides without actually changing the underlying tile map. Because eventually you want to, like, if you're only using this much space, you'd want to trim all of this unnecessary excess space. But we actually don't need to do that until the end, huh? We actually don't need it. So yeah, so there's like no consequences except that occasionally the system like freaks out. I'm gonna see if I can try to get it to freak out. Yeah, you can see it slowly catching up. I was doing this yesterday and I was getting some hilarious behavior because we eventually reach stability. It's not doing it. Sometimes you can get it to like turn itself inside out and it's kind of hilarious. Where it thinks the inside is the outside. Weird that it's not doing it now. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, you can see that insane striping. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so occasionally it completely freaks out and then it just reaches stability again. Yeah, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So in the long run, is this bad? Yes. Should we actually like provide some kind of sync point? Yes. Do I care right now? No. Because we eventually reach stability after like a few runs. Yeah, kind of hilarious, kind of awesome. Kind of stupid. Race conditions are always lovely to debug. Yeah, this can't really, I mean, this will cause race conditions, but it's like as soon as your input stops, like as soon as you stop modifying the tile map by like placing and removing blocks, the system just becomes stable. It just needs to run once or twice. So from this standpoint, it's not a big deal. Eventually, we're going to care about this stuff because like we're going to use a flood fill or something like it to manage things like oxygen levels and like the way fire spreads or the way power moves around. Like we're going to put those things on threads and we're going to need to manage some kind of sync point between them. So we'll get into some dependency management. I just love how easy it was to set up basic multi-threading with no additional support. Like I just turn two functions into tasks and I don't manage anything between them. Like I just check to see if the task is done. And if it is, I do. The only sync point is here, which is like when the main task is finished, that's the only time we're going to read the outputs because the outputs are queues and we need to pull stuff off the queue. We don't want to accidentally do that like ahead of time. So this is really the only sync point and it's fine. Like the auto tiler is fast enough that you don't really notice, but because it's non-blocking, it's still just super responsive to move the camera around. So pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. We could easily test even larger build areas if we want. I don't feel like we need to at this time, but we probably will. I'll probably create like an actual maximum build area, which will probably be 64 by 64 by 8. Right now we're at 32 by 32 by 5, which I don't like. I kind of do want to move the camera up and down when you change levels automatically. I feel like that would give you a better sense of where space was. I think I actually do want to implement that. Where the camera goes up and down like this when you scroll up and down. It would be a lot easier to figure out where you were. Like if you want to just scroll up one, it would be a lot better if the cursor went to that spot. Kind of want to try implementing that because I don't really have any plans for today. We should work on undo redo and saving and loading. But I need to decide how I'm going to simplify, like how I'm going to save this out because I don't want to save it out in this maximized form. I want to like figure out the actual used rects for each level. And then generate like an AABB for that. We're going to do that. Or we're going to like do it tilemap style, but I think we're actually going to do this. It depends on how dense these constructions end up being. I think they're going to end up being relatively dense. And I don't really mind. How are y'all doing though? How's the project? The project's coming along on your side. All right, so if we want to move the camera when we change the level, how are we going to do that? It needs to be like an impetus that's like added to the camera. Maybe it should only be added if you're not manually piloting the camera. So like if I'm moving the camera manually and I'm changing levels, maybe nothing should happen because I've assumed direct control. But if you aren't controlling it, I would like there to be some basic. That'll probably be our general attitude for camera controls is like they only come in to play if the player is not currently messing with the camera. Also, we need to define some kind of limit so you can't accidentally just go off into space. We also need to sort out the zoomed out version. Like the half scale zoom out, which would be like you pass up a bunch of levels and then you zoom out one more and you go to like the different version of the ship. I'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. guess that would just be a variant of the auto tiler. It uses all the same data, it would just reference different Atlas chords. And it would only render the exterior of the ship. Definitely want that though. All right, so to do this, input handler. So here are our axes, defining them here. Shenanigans, you're not doing bad. You had a hectic week last week, so you haven't had too much time to code outside of work. Got some basic rendering, some meshes for a level, but having weird issues getting shaders working. Be confident you're missing something simple, just haven't had time to dig into it too much. Yeah, it always is something simple, isn't it? Pretty much always. All right, so we get our axis. We want to read if a view or if a level up or level down has come in. I need to rename this stuff. Level, orbit, orbit. Scott Hopkins, yo, 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 yo. How's it going? Got my Godot Con tickets yesterday. Tickets. I don't know why I'm saying plural. I got my Godot Con Boston ticket yesterday. Super excited. I know it's not till like May, but it's gonna be dope. All right. So I renamed these things. I need to go fix that somewhere. I need to fix it in the command arg list. So instead of twist or shift, we have orbit and level. Maybe I call it lift. I don't know. I think level is fine. It's not a verb, which is weird, but so command.arg dot. So shift is now level and twist is now orbit. All right, so game.output.views.enqueue command.back. Okay, so we read these back out, the output. And then so the output reads this, and it reads the same. So it says level, orbit. Pan view vertical. No, it's not really a pan. It's like a level up or down. Orbit left or right. Okay, and when we change level, we call a board pan viewer up or down. Okay, so we aren't taking this directly from the input. We're reading it through the sim layer and only making the change here when the sim layer is updated. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So that means in here, we go down to pan viewer left or right. Viewing direction is turn, pan viewer up or down. We clamp the level index. This isn't really a pan, is it? I want to call this view level up or down. View orbit left or right. View turn. Maybe view lift. I don't know about lift. I wouldn't mind actually using turn to describe. I wouldn't mind using turn to describe these camera motions. Actually, we're probably going to use that to describe ship turns. Or maybe we can call it either. Maybe we can have a view turn or like a ship turn. I just didn't. I moved away from using the word turn because I thought this was going to be turn based, and I wanted to reserve the word turn for that. But if we're not going to do that, all right. So now that was just a bunch of setup to say if there's no camera or if there's no camera input, then we want to provide like an impulse. So what should we do? We should probably just say we should probably send something to the camera. I could probably make the camera unique for now. In fact, I don't even need to store it if I'm going to do that. But whatever. My understanding is that these $ references here are themselves cached. Like, that's my understanding, is that these are cached. So I don't actually have to store them in a variable. I mean, I like doing it for some of these if the path name is like pretty long. Something like this, I feel like I'd be better off just saying camera 2D. I'm not 100% sure if that's how that works, but I feel like the difference between this and just getting node via a path is that these are cached. I don't know if that's true though. Just the little $ shortcuts. That was just my presumption. So what we can do is we can say camera 2D dot pan viewer up or down. This is actually the only case of panning a viewer up or down. So what we need to do though is all we really need to do is tell if I actually want to do the camera change first, then set the level index, because I actually want the camera to go based off of the difference. So if the viewer pan, so it's viewer pan minus level index. I don't know. It's wherever we're going. Oh no, it's just viewer pan. I can just submit viewer pan because viewer pan is just up or down. Never mind. But I guess we might as well do it anyway because we don't depend on level index for this. All right. So then in the camera, we're going to say func pan viewer up or down. And I don't know. And is an int. And then so here we're going to basically say, let's store a constant. So let's say constant. Oh, constant. This should be caps. And then this will be like offset. I don't know. Integer or float. Float equals 32. So here what we're going to say, we can do it rough at first. We could probably just do a tween or a lerp. Probably a tween if we're going to do it, if we're going to declare it in here. This might be a little awkward if we start the tween and then we start inputting commands again. Excuse me. We're going to say tween dot tween property position. The property is this. Or object is this. Property is position. Final value is position plus vector 3i dot down times offset duration. We want it to be a fast duration to minimize the chance that identifier this. So what do we say? Self. It's self. It's not this. Right? Valid oh, it's a vector 2. Vector 2 dot down. I don't know. Maybe this works. Maybe not. Yeah, it worked. Oh, it's I see. Oh, it's got to be pan. Plus that times offset times pan. This is really just sine. This is really just a sine is what it is. I'm going to write sine because that presumes that we're only taking a value between 1 and -1. Yeah, I actually like this. I think I like this. Is 32 the right number, though? I think it is. Pretty sure it is. So what if I start this and then I take over? Oh, yeah, that's not good. Is there a way to cancel the tween? Tween dot cancel, not cancel free. Okay, let's look up some tweens here. The tweens are kill. Ports all tweening operations and validates the tween. Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to say if we receive input, we want to kill the tween. Tweens are not meant to be reused, but that should be fine. We can still store it. Variable tween. Tween. So we don't need to say variable. We just create a new tween. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say, do I have a float comparison? Like, is there like a mathf dot approx? Float dot approx kind of thing. Vector 2 approx. Is there a way to compare approximately two floating point values here? Math. What's the math function? Do we have a math in GD script? Scott Hopkin, wait, tween, just learning about these. Yeah, they're pretty great. They're these pretty cool fire and forget property modifiers or method callers or whatever. They're really great for just kind of like unmanaged like changes. You can like tween properties, you can call methods. You can wait an amount of time. It's a great way to do simple scripting of changes, especially the way they put it is they're really good when you don't know the final value ahead of time. If you know the final value ahead of time, like if you're just animating like something between states, animation player is fine and more powerful. But if you, in a lot of cases, a tween is just easier. You can also do callbacks. Like you can do a lot of really simple event-based kind of stuff. Kind of cool. So what we need to do, you can also do transitions. So you can do easing, which is pretty great. You can do lots of different kinds of easing. You can do linear, sine, quint, quart, quad, etc. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff you can do. Easing, you can ease in and out. Yeah, tweens are pretty good. Pretty powerful. Bryson, float comparison helper is equal to prox. That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Bryson. Is equal approx. that just takes floats. So I got to say offset x 0. So I need to say if is equal to prox offset x is 0, or is equal to prox offset y 0. I mean, I could actually just say, I could say it a little differently. I could do the same thing here. Although it's actually just longer that way, so maybe I'm not going to do it that way. So we'll translate. First we'll tween.kill. Kill this tween. What we could do is we could say if tween dot, what is it? Is running. So if it's running, we'll just kill it. And then we'll translate. Similarly here, we need to say, how do we want to put that? What we could just say is we could say like moving or something. Moved. Bool. I'm going to say moved is true. Otherwise, moved is false. And we're going to say if we've moved, if not moved, we're not being manually moved, then we can do this. This should be fine for our purposes. Crash, apparently not fine. Oh, we need a ready function. I can just say queen equals get free dot. So what's the other way to do this? Can I just create queen from here from node? Is this node create tween? Yeah. So what's the difference between node create tween and scene tree create tween? Oh, creates a new tween and binds it to this node. Oh, this is better. It's simpler. We don't have to get the scene tree first. For some reason, I can move one or the other, but if I try to move both, we do not. Why? If is equal to prox x0 or is equal to prox. Oh, I want not. Oh no, I want this. So if either of these are not 0. No, yeah, right. We want not. If not or not. That's right. Got that very wrong there for a second. Okay, so we're moving. Now we're going to mouse down. Mousing down layers, we're mousing up layers. I'm going to stop moving. Okay. Oh. Oops. We can go too far with this. So what I want to do here Debugger. What are you upset about? Tween bound to root game camera 2D started with no tweeners. Yeah. Yeah. What if I do this? Crash. Can I call method is valid on a null value? Okay, if tween. Do a null check, but that seems so lazy. Feel like there's a dot new. Yeah, can we do this? That's not the correct thing to do, but I wonder if it bypasses this exact situation. It does. Okay, what if I remove the is valid check? Okay, so while we're moving, we're stable. Camera, it doesn't get taken control of, but if we're not moving, camera maintains our relative positioning. That is the behavior that I want. Because this makes it easy for me to be like, what's the square exactly above the square that I'm currently on? And it's see, oh. Look, you're complaining either way, okay? Am I supposed to like create a new tween.new? Tweens created manually, i.e. by using tween.new are invalid. Then here it says can't be created directly. Can, it's just invalid. Jeez. But then it also complains if there's no tween values assigned to it. You should avoid using more than one tween per object's property. If two or more tweens animate one property at the same time, the last one created will take priority and assign the final value. If you want to interrupt and restart an animation, consider assigning the tween to a variable. Interesting. Killing it. But you don't normally need to do that. I just want to create a tween that has nothing assigned to it and not have the system yell at me. I guess I can just do a null check. I guess I just don't care. We can say if tween is not null and tween expected type specifier after is not. If tween is not null, is that not a null, not a type specifier? I have to do it that way. That seems like a missed opportunity. So I need to limit it so we can't just go up indefinitely. So to do that, I need to go to the board. I need to say here. Okay, so I do actually depend on level index. What I should do is I should say variable new level. Equals this. And what we'll do is we'll say if new level not equal to level index. If we're actually genuinely on a new level, then we can do all of this stuff. I feel like we should be doing this check somewhere else, but who cares? All right, can we just do this infinitely now? No, we can only go up or down a little bit. Is 32 not enough tiles? No, it's got to be, right? Or pixels? Seems to be stable. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh yeah, I guess that's easy to check. So I can do this and then go
maximum warp.
Up, 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 down, down, up. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so that just gets us to the correct tile on the next floor. Hey, no Jewel. Thanks for the lurk. Thanks for the maximum warp. Everything's good with you. And then if I'm actively controlling the horizontal and the vertical, it's a little weird. There's something occasionally happening here. It's a little tough if I'm fighting. Okay. I'm actually having a hard time getting control back from the tweener. Probably because there's more than one tween happening. So what we should do here is we should say, it's possible that there's more than one tween happening. So what we should do is we should say tween.kill. You can say if tween.is running. We have to do this null check again. I don't want to do this null check. I also don't want to eat the complaint about creating a tween that's got nothing going on. So we're just going to have a ready func ready. And we're going to do something stupid. We're going to say tween equals create tween. We're going to say tween.property or to tween property. It complains if you like tween nothing. So we're just going to have position, the position, the. Can you give a tween a duration of 0? Going to be unhappy about that. I want you to instantly just bring us to our position. That's really stupid, but it prevents us from needing to do null checks all the time. And so this way, this is going to kill the tween so that we don't ever have more than one. Okay. Okay, now it seems like I can easily take control. Yeah. Probably have this happen quicker, but I think half a second is good actually. Why can't I only go through something weird is happening here. One, two, three, four. Okay. One, two, three, four. Something weird is happening here. What the hell is going on here? Oh, I see. The guide thing is not updating correctly now. Strange. It is letting me build on all 5 layers, but it's just being weird about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, it's still letting me go up and down 5 levels. It's just the guidelines aren't updating correctly. I kind of want to change the guidelines so that it mirrors wherever the constructed area is. Maybe we have a set of guidelines that's like static, that's like a dotted line, that's like, you cannot build past this. Then we have another set of guidelines that's like where you're actually building. That's like the solid line. Yeah. But let's figure out why this is misbehaving. Super view level. Modulate levels. Ion range level count. Or relative distance. So why is it a problem if we only send this? We only send this when the level has actually changed. Why is that a problem? I mean, I don't really care. We could just move this outside of the function. I just want to know why it's a problem. I'm gonna clean up some cruft. We're gonna do some cruft cleaning here. All right, we got ad starting in just a minute. Appreciate everyone hanging out here for the first hour. Can't believe an hour has already passed. Feel like I've done one thing, and I guess I have. All right, so this is just passing the current index, and for some reason, it is upset. It is a problem to only be doing it if it's actually changed. Why is that? This one, grid levels. So this refers to the super, so tile levels. If view level is not equal to level index equals view level. This just changes an internal number. Doesn't do anything. Oh, there's a bunch of cruft here too. So we're not doing this shuffle between levels thing anymore. We're actually getting rid of this. It's cool, but we're not going to use it for anything. And we have it in the we have it in GitHub. All right. So, is there any reason for this to be a separate? Yeah, cuz you have your own modular levels implementation, right? Okay, so you're doing the check here at a fundamental level. Oh, and you're calling this first? Or are you calling it first? Okay, so view levels, then you're calling modular level. Does this need to be set initially? Or is there like an export variable? Okay, so when we start, we're on the correct point. Then we go down one and we don't change. We go up one and we change. Very strange. We're kind of going backwards at the first one. And then it works correctly. One, two, three, four, five. It should be going five. We're not going five. Hold on. One, two, three, four, five. Weird. One, two, three, four, five. Can I not count? One, two, three, four, five, one. Oh, I wasn't starting from one. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I was counting from zero like a monster. Okay, so the only thing that seems to be negatively affected is the guidelines. Guidelines are being miscolored. Okay, that's fine. Could I do like vertical lines and then just like a line across the top and a line across the bottom? Do I need to do... I guess it is helpful to have the vertical line here to tell what level you're on. I'm kind of tempted in like the upper left to put like a deck number UI. Just so you can say like, see like what deck number you're currently on. Because it's showing here. It's not showing correctly, which is a problem, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be more helpful because these don't all show. They kind of disappear. Maybe we'll add that. Just a little deck number UI. At least you're not counting from -1. Yeah, at least. I have some scruples. Not like a lot. Oh, I'm going to regret drinking this coffee. This is going to be that like lukewarm. Oh, it's probably going to be room temperature even. Yep. Yep, that thick room temperature coffee. Love it. Live off of it. All right. You know, someday we're going to work on this game rather than just, you know, working on a tile editor. Someday. But you know, I'm past the point of having anything to show at GDC that resembles a game. So I'm just like all in on this tile map editor, you know? So I can at least be like, check out this dope tile map editor. All right, so for some reason, this is a problem. So for the view level up or down, also, aren't we doing this check somewhere else? Like when we receive the input. So input handler. No, so we just have the -1 or up 1. So we're just reading the input just raw. And then over here in the view system, game.output.views.enqueue command.back. Where are we actually changing the view? Oh, we don't. We don't. There actually is no impact to us. We don't actually know what view we're on directly in the simulation. We actually don't care. We just route it through the sim layer so that there's some kind of agreement. But we're actually only processing this through via the coordinates. We're passing the Z level in when we're reading coordinates, cursor coords from the actual command, which I like, because then you store the command, the relative coordinates for each command rather than having like some nebulous coordinate that you pull like every frame that might disagree with where the coordinate actually was when the command was submitted. So that is a good way to do it. Bryson, that's what you're here for that day to come. You'll be so old by the time that day comes. You'll be like, I remember back when I first saw this channel. We didn't do nothing except work on back-end systems all day. Fine, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. Giants being the viewers that have given me the good ideas that we're implementing. All right, so we're looping through that. Okay, so we're looping that command through the sim layer. We explained why. We're not actually doing anything in there, so we don't care. Now we're going to go back here. We're handling now we're handling this up or down check here. If level index is not equal to new level. So new level is a clamped version of level index plus viewer pan, and is clamped between 0 and level count -1. What's level count? How do we get level count? Is it set here? Okay, it's max Z minus min Z plus 1. Okay, so it's basically just size Z. Okay. The hell do I have it in this order for? Max and then min? What the hell is wrong with me? All right. Where do we do that? Is it here? Set board boundaries? Yeah. Then the minimum, then the maximum, like a sane person. Why do we want to know this? What are we using this for? Oh, we're calling the levels. Okay, right. I want to know where these textures keep leaking from. Probably my fault. Compressed texture, scene, resources, compressed texture. Compressed texture. Wow. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with the word compressed texture. Compressed texture. All right. So for some reason, having this check here is problem. Why is it problem? Level index minus I divided by level count. Should it be divided by level count minus 1? No. Level nodes I dot modulate A 1 minus relative distance times 2. So we change the viewing level first, then we do the modulation. So we should be getting the correct range. We should be getting the correct value. I don't know why we're not. Very weird. Very weird here right now. Scott, your dad is a smart guy and struggles to say synthesizer. Fair. We go down one, the outline doesn't change. We go down one again, now the outline changes. Now the outline changes. Now the outline changes. Now the outline change doesn't, there's no outline change. But if we go back up, the outline goes down. Now there's this thing that's happening at the boundary. Very strange. Very strange. I mean, we can get around this by just sending calling the modulate every single time, even if it's an invalid change. I just don't understand. Let's just try flipping the order of this or something. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, it's wrong, but in a different way. Very strange. Whatever. The easiest thing to do is to just call it every time you try to change the level, even if the level doesn't actually change. Just watch. This is just gonna work now. Yeah, so kind of weird how that seems to be the case. I guess it doesn't really matter. It just bothers me. Oh, oops. So we can't actually kill the tween with extreme prejudice. Yeah, our system won't work correctly. We got to go back here. So this one, this we can't do. Unless we want to store the actual position we're trying to offset to. Let's get rid of that. Oh. No, it's still not working correctly. If we move 5 levels, we should move 5 levels down. I guess we actually have to store where we eventually want to go. I don't know. Yeah, because here if I do it one at a time, we actually managed to do the offset one at a time. But if I try to do them all at once, like if I just scroll all the way down to the bottom, we only do one. So we're going to get around that by storing the target, maybe? I don't know. And noting the difference between the target level and the current level. Keep, okay. This is like such a stupid thing to be working on, but I don't know if I feel like working on anything substantial today. So this is kind of what we're working on. I am of the opinion that the interface defines the game, or the input at least defines the game, like your input scheme. So like I don't mind spending all of this upfront work figuring out the correct input schemes and how it renders itself and the whole process. Excuse me. Oh, I'm tired. I've also had a very busy week or so at work at the day job, so maybe I just don't have the energy. That's okay. We're chilling. The stream is whatever energy level we're at. Sometimes it's frenetic, sometimes it's chill. Sometimes it's practically catatonic. But no matter what, we're here. We're streaming and we're working on stuff. A little progress is better than no progress. Scott Hopkins, can you explain input scheme defines the game? I can. That's probably I probably phrased it poorly. Pretty good programming logic, but very little game dev. It's kind of like an affordances thing, right? It's kind of like the way you interact with the game defines the possibility space of like what you can do in the game. And so to me, it's like super important to define upfront how you interact with the game. Like what the controls are like, what the feedback is you get, like what can you affect and how do you affect it? And to me, once you know that, then you have a better idea of like what stuff can happen. Because there's a class of simulation game where that's not true, and you can do all sorts of shit regardless of how much or little the player can interact with the game. But that's like that. Then you're getting into stuff about whether it's worth designing a system that the player will never see. But I think from an interactability standpoint, it's like super important to define upfront all of the interactive possibilities of what the player can do. So for me, I'm trying to define this whole set of like, what does the player see? Like, how can they navigate around the map? Like, what's hard? What's easy? Like, yeah, no worries. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, please, if I say something in a way that's truly confusing, I appreciate someone asking me about it. Because I'm happy. I can probably almost always phrase it better. Diginanigans, does GD script let you change the target mid-tween? Typically in a normal lerp, you would just keep track that you were in a tweening state, but just update the target value. That's what I'm thinking of doing. But from what I understand, the way the tween works is that when you create a new tween, just whatever the tween, if you've created multiple tweens and they're all still running, the tween that has control is the tween that you most recently created. So yes, as long as you have a state, as long as you're keeping a track of the state of like what you targeted with the last tween, you can just update that target with the new tween and you'll be good. I just wasn't doing that. We were going for like whatever we're currently at plus an offset. But we need to plus all the offsets that we've currently applied that we're in the middle of doing. So yeah, which I should probably just express as a final position. So yeah, so we're going to store a target variable target, going to be a vector2. And we're just going to update the target every time we create a new tween. That is very astute. Diginanigans. That's basically what we need to do. We can still kill the old tween, And in fact, we probably should be doing that. It probably doesn't matter as much. So we're going to say target equals target. We're going to say target plus equals vector 2 dot down times offset times sign. And then when in the ready function, we can specify target. Well, hold on a second. We need to keep track of. We need to do this a little different. We can say if tween is running. Here we go. We can say target. This is where we can say target plus equals whatever. So if we're already tweening, we can just update the target. Otherwise, we're going to say target equals position plus vector 2 down times offset times sign. So if we're initializing a new tween, we set the target to be the position plus the offset. If we're currently tweening, we just update the target with an additional offset. And then here we just tween to the target. And that should be fine. Is it fine? That didn't look fine. Oh, we need to, because I'm actually not sure what's happening. Whether it's calling it like 5 times or whether it's calling it just once. Because if we do it like this, we're okay. We actually need to keep track of the level that we're on and the level that we're going to then instead. We might need to apply more than one offset at once, because here we're only getting called once for a change of 5 levels. Probably because I'm scroll wheeling this and I'm able to input the command way faster than you could if you were doing it with keys. But I want scroll wheel to be one of the input methods here, so that seems right. All right, so what are we gonna do? We probably shouldn't keep an independent track of the level. I mean, we could just take the level instead of taking the sign. That's probably what we should do. Do I want to do the sign? All right. So it can't just be times offset. It's got to be times offset times some kind of level diff. We do need to keep track of the level. So we could say variable level is an int. So instead we could say the target itself could also then become a level. We would say target maybe the target should continue to be a position. So the diff, what we're going to say, instead of getting the sign, we're going to get Say new level. We'll get the new level, so let's change that. So instead of passing in viewer pan, we're going to pass in level index, or we're going to pass in new level. And down here, what we're going to do is we're going to say this is a little tricky. This is a little tricky what we're trying to do here. We could easily get desynchronized. Because we can interrupt this at any time. I guess we just live with that. This is maybe it, or this is not it. But we're going to try it. Might send us in the wrong direction. This is just perpetually sending us up. Okay. Maybe it's new level minus level. Is this only going to send us down? I see. Okay, well, it seems to be able to account for the multi-level movement. So if I do this and I just unlock the scroll wheel and I just go for it. Okay, that works in one direction, but it's not multi-directional. So we need to make it multi-directional. Oh, we need to set the level as new level. Level equals new level. This is going to behave weirdly, I think. So if we go one down and then one up, okay, so this seems to be fine for the easy case of just going up or down one level at a time. What if we go down 5 levels all at once? That did not work. Probably because this isn't happening as one discrete call. It's probably happening as 5 calls, one after the other. And I'm just running into the same original problem that we had. And I'm changing the level every time. We're going to print panning to new level from cool. Oh, do I have to say .toString? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I have to do something else. Forgot how to do string formatting. GD script. GD script. Print formatting. Format string. GD script format strings. What is the syntax for format strings again? Oh, is it just str whatever? Multiple ways to do it. Oh, it's this. There's format strings. There's the string format, and there's also just str. Okay. Format strings is cool. Okay, so if I do it that way, I need to pass an array of things. Otherwise, I can just pass them to strings. All right. Having two programming languages in a single project is disorienting sometimes. All right, so what if I just jam it in here? Go all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, so we go, wait, what the F? That didn't work. Oh, we're ready. Oh, format string, right. Oops. I really don't like that. I don't like that syntax. I think I'd rather just use str. Sure, there's some cases where that's fine. I'm gonna do str. Probably reverse the from and the to. All right, yeah, so we're paying. So this is happening in 4 calls. So yeah, this needs to be sequential. So I'm just not updating this correctly. So target plus equals vector2 down times offset times new level would be 1. So I guess it's not meaningful to do this other than just do it with size or sign. Sign is equivalent for us. Why is this? I'm gonna move this down here, and I'm gonna add a while running. And then I'm gonna have this here. It's gonna be else. I want to know how many of these are happening while running. It should be the second, or this should be those after the first. I was like the second 3, and it's like, what? That is not the correct way. No, Jewel, just ditch all your C# code. You know, I don't tempt me. Okay, so this is exactly what I expect. So we're panning from 0 to 1, and then we're panning from 1 to 2 while running, then we're panning from 2 to 3 while running, Panning from 3 to 4 while running. So why is my target not updating correctly? Oh, because this isn't in an else. Oops. Oopsies. I'm an idiot. Yep, now it works. Now it works regardless of how many layers we're trying to do. It should, I do, oh no, I actually kind of like it being faster the more levels you're trying to pan between. So it pans between the 5 in the same time it would pan between 1. Like whatever the command is. And then what if I take over control while this is happening? Where it's like trying to happen and I start moving the mouse and just like we're just fighting. What if we're just fighting for control? Okay, it's a little weird. No, it's okay. I mean, it's going to be a little weird if you're fighting the camera all the time, but it's fine. It doesn't, it actually just relinquishes control. I can't speak today. Relinquishes control as soon as you start camera, as soon as you start moving. And it does what I want. It just translates my cursor to the same position. On that level. It retains that the XY position as it changes the Z position. That's going to help a lot for like making staircases and stuff. I can just like plant a ladder, go up one, plant a ladder, go up one, plant a ladder. That's going to make it a lot easier to build. And it's going to make it a lot more intuitive when you're controlling movement. When you're like, okay, I want to go down from here and over there. And like, I think it'll help a little bit. All right. Well, that all works now. One reason you prefer braces to white space. That and you cut your teeth on C-style languages. Oh yeah, this is all new to me, relatively. I mean, I spend most of my day job when I'm coding. It's like mostly in JavaScript. So like, I'm kind of used to them not caring. But yeah, I cut my teeth on C# already. So like, I mean, again, I don't know real programming. I don't know C and C++ and stuff, but like, I definitely prefer I prefer static. I prefer, a bit more rigidity. Although I am enjoying C#, how flexible it is with like expression bodies and stuff. And like how it really doesn't care if you have braces or not anymore. I'm somewhat flexible about it nowadays. But yeah, it definitely gets confusing sometimes. Like if I have a single line if statement, I just like inlining the whole thing. I don't want to have like braces just for like one thing. I like this. I'd rather just say if the view count's greater than 0, run the system. But sometimes I do this. So I don't know. I'm kind of inconsistent. Maybe because it's an assignment, it just feels a little weird if I do it this way. But it's also kind of just easy to read. If fill task is completed, then fill task is a new task. This to me is easy. I don't know why I would put braces there. All right. Okay. We've got our little camera movement stuff done. Figured out. We also don't need this level. We don't need to be tracking levels. This can go back to just being the sign. Which I'd rather have because there's a potential that we desync if we try to keep track of levels that way. I'd rather not. Oh, this is wrong. Or maybe this is wrong. This seems wrong. Whatever's going on there. That doesn't feel like that was right. I don't think that explains what was going on with the levels. Identifier new level not. Oh yeah, I gotta actually update the code. Oops. Fine. Yeah, you can do that in C, C++ as well. Leave off the braces for single line conditionals. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I don't know how much I love this. Because GDScript, while it appears flexible, it actually has a lot of opinions about indentation. Like it is less like if I'm trying to declare some kind of multi-line thing that's really long, it gets really upset if I do the indentation incorrectly. So yeah, I definitely don't like using indentation for control flow. I think that's kind of horrible. Yes, is it like dense? Is it like, do you need the braces and stuff? No, but like it's a little weird. But this also feels weird in GDScript doing it that way, so I don't. Fullbox, you can use backslash at the end of the line to cut it. Oh no, that's forward slash. Cut it whenever you want. Okay. Still weird, but better. How's it going, Fullbox? How are you doing? We're at what, like 7 or 8 or 9 days or something like that till release? 6? Oh Jesus. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Happy President's Day, I guess. Everyone's gonna be that's our President's Day gift in America is Block Shop. The federal holiday here. Not sure why we would celebrate our presidents. Although nowadays, I think the dead ones are better than the live ones. It's bullshit day. Yeah, it is. Oh, Block Shop Day. I thought we were talking about President's Day for a second. It's both. It can be both. That's awesome, though. That's very exciting. Everyone go wish list Block Shop. I really need to have more commands. Everyone else has all these cool commands where they can be like exclamation mark streamer, and then it's like, oh, this is this dope person who's working on this dope game. Here's the Steam link. You were on IRAD? Exclamation mark warp. Yeah, exactly. It's so distracting. Well, I'm definitely not distracting because I don't do anything. But yeah, I definitely prefer a more chill stream environment. IRAD is awesome, but if I have too few Steam commands and stream features, IRAD might have too many. All right, what are we gonna do next? You like it here? I appreciate that. Pretzel Rocks re-enabled all my music, but I still haven't turned it back on. I think for that very purpose of like, I think I like giving people control of like what they want to do. Like if they like having me on in the background, that's awesome. But like, I'm not gonna make people listen to my music. If they want to also listen to music, they can listen to their own music. If they don't have to. All right, cool. So this is the what I want to achieve, and it doesn't happen. Oh, it kind of. Oh wait. Oh, that behaved a little weirdly. No, okay, it's fine. I'm just getting confused by the transition maybe. So if there's no, it'll only take over the camera if there's no player input happening simultaneously. That's what I want. I like that. So I can be like, bloop. Then I can go down a level, and it takes me to the same point. Problem is I have to go over here. I need to have some hotkeys for some of the blocks. I should put the numpad hotkeys back a little bit. And so here I can go down, and then down, and then down. Yeah. So the fill system is freaking out a little bit. People can probably tell. It's like trying to catch up. And that's because everything is off on its own thread now. So the fill system takes a minute to run. So yeah, it freaks out when I do stuff like this because it's actually like fighting with the tool system because there's no synchronization happening. But we reach eventual stability, and that's good enough for me right now. Yeah, I like this. I'm happy with this. Happy with this camera control thing. You'll put on a 10-hour compilation of Nyan Cat. Nice. All right, I don't know. We have like almost another hour, and I don't know what to work on. All right. I think one thing that could be fun is there's a couple of things that could be fun. We could set up the actual like max build area because right now I think these solid lines are too much. I want to switch to like dotted lines for like the actual maximum build area. And maybe I only want to show them when you get close to them. But that would be more complicated. So right now, maybe we just make these dotted lines. And we make the area even bigger, maybe. And then what we want to do eventually is we want to reduce the space that we're searching to only the area being used. So there's like the maximum build area, and then there's like the actual area that's being built in, and that maybe is where we use these solid line guides. And right now we're only going to update the solid line guides, but we could use that as a testing ground for updating the actual map layers. I'm hesitant right now to reallocate the bands. And in fact, I probably only want to do that when we're done building. I think doing that while we're building is like a recipe for disaster. Because then we'd actually start to run into some crazy multi-threading issues with our various systems. Because we're doing some we're doing some unsafe multi-threading. Regular unsafe. Why is this offset? Why is the camera like this? The camera seems to think that it's not centered. Is it not? Is it because it's not centered? That's it. That's the case. No, wait, what the hell is this? Oh, this is the board. Board is in the wrong spot. Oops. See if that has any consequences. I want to try one more time to see if we can fix this thing. Let's see one more. I think I had this written slightly wrong, and I don't remember. I don't know when that changed, when that was made. The level index is not equal to new level. Then we call this and we pass in new level. I think this is right. This is how we do this. Oh, okay. That's all fine then. Beautiful. All right, this is all good. All right, so now we're only calling this when we actually change levels. That makes me happy. Excuse me. What's left on the to-do list, full box? I haven't been able to catch the stream much. You just have a sticky note that says just panic. Is that the whole to-do list? That would be my to-do list at this point. Although you said you're focusing. If you're focusing, ignore me. I realize some people might come here to hang out and be focused, and I'll just ask them questions. That is not helpful. Although I did want to tell you the GodotCon Boston tickets just went on sale yesterday. I know that's like probably something you don't want to think about right now, but they seem to shadow drop them. I didn't see any official notice of them, but someone practical linked it. Toolbox, you need to tweak some colors, finish the achievement visual, polish some little visual elements, marketing, add 2 to 3 sound effects. Okay, that's a pretty reasonable to-do list. You're thinking about going, but the talks haven't been announced yet. Oh, I mean, yeah, they're not going to announce any of that stuff. They clarified the schedule a little bit on the tickets. So there's going to be half-day workshops on, I mean, we can just look. Let me grab the link. So this is what we're looking at here. Nope, biggering. I was like, biggerize it. And I was like, no, biggerizing it's not going to help because then people can't see it over my giant noggin. So it's like, it's May 5th through 7th. The standard ticket gets you access to a 2-day conference. That's the 6th and the 7th. So Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a half-day workshop ticket. That's both the standard ticket plus an extra half-day workshop. That's going to be on Monday, the 5th. So for $100, you can get Tuesday, Wednesday. And then for another $100, you get the Monday workshop. Or it says workshops. So I assume there's going to be a selection of workshops. There's also some reduced ticket prices. So it's definitely cheap compared to, you know, GDC or whatever. I'm definitely spending way more on accommodations and flights and stuff. But I imagine these aren't going to sell out super quickly, so probably got time. What's the workshops, though? They're workshops. I don't know. They asked you how advanced you'd want the workshop to be, and I said intermediate, and then they put it on my ticket. I'm like, wow, shame me. Publicly shame me. I want an intermediate workshop. I'm not the most advanced. Like if someone like I come to the workshop and the guy's like, all right, we're gonna do some GD extension stuff, I'd be like sick, but I'd also be like, I have no idea what's happening. So I don't know. I think at least the standard ticket would be pretty safe. But 2-day conference, May 6th, May 7th. Come to it, stay one night. It ends at 6 p.m. local time. It's like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come over, stay one night, bus back or whatever. Seems cool. I have to fly from West Coast, but so it's a little more of an involvement for me, but super dope. I'm very happy. I'm going to be renting an Airbnb with some other Godot devs. But yeah, I'm psyched. Very stoked. Box on the main event page, it says we have a few tickets left. You don't want to double dip and go to PAX at the same time. Oh my god, is PAX the same time? Mini Arcade Expo. I want to go to PAX West is what I want to do. Oh shoot, it's PAX is May 8th to May 11th. Oh, I could actually like straight, I could have double dipped. That actually sounds awesome. If I just had money, I would do that. I would be all over this. That would be so cool. Maybe in a few years, I'll be able to start going on the PAX circuit. Take my game on the PAX circuit, but this would be thousands of dollars to just do. That's wild. Are you going to PAX East? I mean, you actually have a game that's released, that's going to be released that you can actually, you know, market. I don't know how you demo at PAX East nowadays, unless you can find like an indie mega booth situation. I feel like it's probably expensive. I don't know how much is PAX. If you're asking me, I don't know. I know to Expo, to get like a 10-foot booth, it's like probably like thousands of dollars. They usually have space, I think, is my understanding. Like, they're one of the more accessible ones in that you can actually email them and they'll tell you. But I've never been in a position where I could actually seriously consider going, so I've never actually put much effort into figuring that out. The F is this stuff? All right, what are we gonna do? Got like a little less than an hour, and I don't know what to work on. Oh, let's work on the helper functions. Let's work on our helper function. So I want to take the turn CCW and the turn CW. I want to change these to be. We need to do a couple things. We need to make these such that. No. Yeah, I just want to fix this. And by fix this, I mean set it to be like a helper function. Do we want it to be, because right now, Box, you're a friend of yours is talking about going to booth. You're considering it. Have no revenue. Fair. I don't know. You might change your mind in about a couple of weeks. As Julian from Trailer Park Boys says, you got to spend money to make money. But as Ricky says, maybe I just don't understand investments. No, Jewel, the only thing viable for you would be Gamescom. 1 hour drive for you. Oh, that's dope. I would love to go to Gamescom, but going to Europe is a little far for me. Fullbox, you'd like to do a talk maybe one day to GodotCon or something? Maybe like how to use Twitch as a way to market your game or something? You need to have proven results first. Yeah, for sure. We'll be at Gamescom. We'll be at GodotCon someday. I'll be being like, here's how you make an isometric auto tiler that's not useful to anyone except me. Or my other talk would be, here's how to overcomplicate your game by implementing an entity component system that you didn't need. That ultimately just makes everything more complicated. All right, so right now I have game absolute coordinates and view relative coordinates. I would like to make this simpler. We could have a dot to relative or to absolute. Or we could just say view relative. I like view relative, and I kind of like game absolute. Game absolute is confusing. Basically, we're talking about what is the coordinates when you take into account the view angle? And what are the coordinates when you don't, when you just discount the viewing angle? And I need both of those, and I need a method, and I could put them, I should probably make it a call in the space that we're talking about rather than having it be a coordinate function that takes a AABB. Maybe it's an AABB function that takes a coordinate. Maybe that's how we do it. That's probably the best because turn CCW to, well, the turn functions depend on the center point of the board more than anything else. Maybe that's what we try to do. So let's go to AABB and let's think about setting it up here. So we would say, we just got to mainly decide on what to call it. Not a static function because it depends on the internal state of the AABB. Bryson, savage today? Me? Oh, yeah, no. My self-deprecation. I wasn't even paying attention. I self-deprecate in my sleep. Toolbox. How to be a game dev, just fail a bunch of times. Yeah, that is honestly it. Also, for everyone stuck in ads, sorry. All right, what are we calling these? Yeah, you sounded a bit hard on yourself about the ECS. I am hard on myself about the ECS. It's making some things very complicated, which I knew. I know that's how ECS works. It makes some stuff easy and some stuff hard. And the trade-off is that you presume that it's going to make more hard stuff easy than easy stuff hard, you know. But I'm at the phase where it's just making stuff hard and not really making anything easy. So we're going to call this a public vector 3i. Going to be called 2 relative or dot view relative. I don't know. Two is not really the right word if we're grabbing it from the AABB. Maybe it's 2 view space and 2 game space, something like that. I don't know. Or in game space or in view space. I don't know. View view space? No, I don't love that. Also, 2 doesn't seem like the right thing if we're putting this on the AABB. That seems like the right thing if we're putting it on the coordinate. If we just say coordinate. What we should do is we should say as, because it doesn't change the coordinate. I don't know. I'm torn. Let's go to the vector and let's see. So right now we have it turn CCW to, oh, so right now we currently only have this defined in vector 2, because that's actually the only place it matters. And right now we pass in an angle. We shouldn't need to pass in an angle. We should just use, the actual angle. Firstly, we should get rid of this. Instead of bounds, I don't know. Call it space. Like the space that we're in. To view. view relative. I don't know. I hate naming things sometimes. Diginan again. If nothing else, it's a learning experience, but structure things and build however most brings you joy. If you're not working on a team of other people, enjoy the flexibility you have. Yeah, for sure. Shenanigans. You could make those same arguments about you building everything up in Odin versus just using Godot or Unity. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I like ECS. There's a reason I chose it. I prefer it to just having everything being a class and having this like web of references. I also prefer it to just having the super struct where like everything is just this huge struct that has like every field it could possibly ever need or whatever. I don't like either of those options. I like ECS. I guess I'm calling it bounds because I always call AABBs bounds. I'm just going to call this as relative. Maybe dot in a relative space. I don't know. Or an absolute space. Actually, CCW is absolute space. So this one's absolute. But we can't just call it ABS because we already have an ABS function, which is part of the reason I didn't want to do this. Maybe we do put it on the bounds. If we put it on the bounds, we can just call it like get relative or get absolute. We have get coords for an index. We could also have public vector. Oh, well, here's the argument for doing it on the vector is we conceivably only need the vector 2. The only one that's actually determinate is vector 2. So if you pass in a vector 3 and you try to get it relative, it doesn't matter. It just calls the vector 2 version. So like vector 3 dot turn clockwise 2 just calls the vector 2 version because that's the only determining. Like the Z and the W, presuming you also can implement this in vector 4. Those do not matter for this. So maybe it is better to do it in the vector. So we can call it public vector 2 I to call it like in relative terms. I don't know. In GDScript, I called it rel to ABS, which I think is a little confusing. Not least of which because we already have a relative, or we already have an absolute value function. So I'm going to call... I also hate turns clockwise and turn counterclockwise. I think that's like deeply confusing. And that's currently how we implement it. I think I should mention view relative. Define or synonyms or antonyms for relative. What are some other words for relative? Come on, Google. I asked you for antonyms. Did I spell antonyms wrong? I could say unrelated. I kind of like absolute. Because also the way we have this, an absolute coordinate is not only irrespective of the view, the camera angle, it's also always going to be positive numbers because of how we have it set up. Maybe that actually, maybe absolute is the correct word for what I'm describing. So we could say dot view relative. We'd pass in an AABB bounds. So within this space, yeah, I think view relative and like view absolute is like probably maybe game absolute. I don't know. We could say relative space, and then we could pass in the space. We could also call it in view space. To view space. Whatever. I'm getting too preoccupied with doing this in a way that makes sense to other people. It just has to make sense to me, right? View ABS, AABB space. And here we'd have public vector 2i view relative AABB space. And we just otherwise use like the exact same code. Base.center. Oh, I can't actually do that. Oh, so it has to be vector 3. Relative, it's going to be game.view.angle, which and then this will be view relative. It just needs to make sense to you 3 months from now. True. That is true. That is not guaranteed. Game.view.angle, which I liked the idea of putting it on the AABB. Because I could specify that you need to submit relative coordinates. So this is one way that we could do it. We could do it this way. And then if you have a vector 3 call, you just call in the vector 2 version of this. The other way we could do it, just grab this, throw it in the AABB. Put it down here. So it would be still this, but instead of sending the space, you would have vector 3i relative coords. And then center, we don't need to define the center. So it would be center with a Y, with a capital. Do this center. Well, it's definitely going to be wordier if I have to put the word relative coordinates at the beginning of this. I could just say relative. So, or we could do it like this. I like view absolute or absolute view. No, view absolute's better. So we'd say bounds.view absolute, and we'd pass in relative coordinates. And then I can very explicitly be like, you need to pass in relative coordinates here, or the absolute thing is not going to work. That's kind of implied here. I kind of like, I'm just going to put this on the AABB. I think I prefer that. I think I prefer that for now. View absolute, view relative. So here it's going to be vector 3, I, absolute. It makes sense that you pass in the coordinates you want to transform into the space doing the transformation. That just seems reasonable. I know it's like super arbitrary which one we ended up doing, but this feels okay to me. And now we have to fix a ton of errors. 87 errors in 3 files. The vast majority of which should be in here. So this is going to be block buffer dot AABB dot, I don't love this, dot view relative block position. Why are you upset with me? Cannot resolve symbol block. Oh, block bluffer. Okay, I like this. It's not a lot shorter, but you know, it's okay. And then so here instead of here it would be block buffer dot ABS, no, view absolute. Oh, block buffer dot AABB dot view absolute. It's simpler, definitely simpler. Changing this 80 something times is going to be unpleasant, but I can't just easily replace it because each one is a little different here. I guess I could maybe try. So we could say, we could find this. We could find all the cases of this. And we could replace it with, how do I get this to switch to replace mode? Guess I should have done R instead of. Okay, that's Control F. Where's find and replace? It's not Control Shift R. Control Shift F? No. Thought it was easy to do. Now it doesn't feel easy at all. Control Shift, Control F. I've done this before. You can just, is it this? Oh, it's that. It's this stupid little arrow. Okay. So we're replacing all cases of this with block buffer dot AABB dot view absolute this. Yeah, that's way shorter. Place all. Okay. Now we got to find some other cases. So this one's next. I'll replace it with this one. Shoulder is killing me for some reason. Place this one with this. Yeah. Oh, Lord. How do I undo that? There we go. Not that. Okay. Are you still upset with me? I see lots of red here still. Ah. We're just having to swap out the directions. Otherwise, relatively easy. Did it wrong again. How am I keep getting this wrong? CCW. Oh, I took too many of the parentheses away. There we go. All right, we're knocking them out. We're knocking them out. This is quite horrible, whatever's going on here. We're going in different directions here. Quite bad. Trying to keep track of just the sheer number of parentheses. So this one needs to be replaced with opposite position. So the opposite position. Getting that relative. And we're adding vector 3 up to it. And then we're getting it relative again. So we're saying block buffer dot AABB. There's probably a shorthand way of doing this. We're getting we're getting the absolute version of a set of coordinates, adding a coordinate to it, and then getting it back into relative space. Probably an optimization I can make there. Wait, why did that only change one of them? Why didn't that also affect this one? Kind of weird. I think I can just plug this in here. Clean up this horrible monstrosity that is whatever's going on here. This is pretty rough too, though. Get index, view relative, view absolute. There's probably some way of making that better. But let's work on that later. As we figure out what like the common interactions are, we can come up with shorthands for them. Replacing these incredibly long function calls is not fun. Especially because I'm doing it one at a time. Okay. I think I'm doing most of these one at a time, so let's just improve that. Just say block buffer dot AABB dot absolute view absolute this plus this block buffer AABB view relative. Okay, at least these are getting to be short enough that I can actually clean up these insane, weird indentation things that Writer is intent on forcing me through. Time is it? 1:33. All right, we have time to fix all of these, and then that's probably going to be it for today. Maybe I can have like get relative index or something like that. Or I could have like get index dot from relative. Or I could do like get index dot view absolute dot. Well, no, that won't work. I could probably come up with a shorthand way of calling this. When we're doing these weird transforms, we're like, I need to get the absolute position of this thing, modify it, then get it back into relative space. We'll figure that out. Right now, this is still pretty ugly. Maybe we do want it to be on a vector, because we could say view relative. We could say dot get index say dot view absolute dot get into. Yeah, we could do something. We could do something. Maybe we could just have an overflow of view relative that takes an absolute. It takes a. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know how I'm going to shorten that. Maybe I just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it for now. This one we could probably change programmatically. There's 6 of these. That's worth it. That's a worthy target of optimization here. So this is CCW, so we're trying to get the ABS version of this. Relative position plus vector 3i dot forward. Place all of those. Love to see it. This one. The vector 3i left version. Fix this stuff. Maybe we can specify a direction. Something. I don't know. I mean, that's what we're doing here. Trying to avoid all these weird calls. P. Gorley. Hello. How's it going? So happy to see you. Still fondly recall the day P. Gorley first came into my channel. I don't love the way Ryder insists on like moving things around just to keep within the soft wrap. Guess it's not particularly soft if it's more of a hard wrap. Really hope I changed these all correctly. Yeah. Thank God I named these variables. How's it going? Are you here to help me stress Fullbox out about their impending launch? Oh God, we do this twice. I forgot because we branched the code. Ugh. Do this again. Yeah, pretty much. Also, Irad said to watch me. Irad has been really nice about that. Irad gave me a shout out last week, right as I went live, and I was like, what is going on? Irad is great. Irad is correctly named. Or accurately named. I don't know if I agree with everything they said. Like, I don't know if I agree with their statement that people should come watch me, but appreciate someone saying it. We're wrapping a little bit of an ugly refactor here real quick. Added some helper functions, and now we got to swap them all in here and try to fix this insane formatting that Ryder did to us. my god. This is worse than I could have possibly imagined. Probably turn off that wrapping function. That like whatever little wrapping assist thing is like reformatting my code for me. It's not doing a good job. I generally enjoy Writer, but sometimes it is a little too opinionated. All right, just a few more little changes here. Block buffer.get coords. Okay, so we get these coords. We turn clockwise too. So we just say that. Yeah, I want to allow you to chain some of the get coords and the view relative stuff. You need to figure out how to do that in a way that makes sense. Probably make some of these functions available through the parent buffer and not have to call into the AABB to do it. Simplify that a little bit. Actually, that's probably what I could do is I could add some additional helper functions on the block buffer that simplifies some of these transformations. Some of the more common transformations. They're kind of awkward to phrase. Oh, I should have done all of these in a row, huh? Grab this. Oh, nope. Unhappy. There we go. So that, and we take. Whoa, boy. Too far. Okay, this thing. All right, replace all 7 of these. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. A few more left here. Oh, this is just poorly formatted. Oh, this is monstrous. This is one of the monstrous ones. This is this the same thing twice? It is. Okay, so it's block buffer dot AABB dot view absolute plus vector3 dot up, and then we view that as relative. Block buffer dot view. We can just copy that down here. Is that correct? Oops. This is the same thing, but for right instead of up. Kind of weird, but okay. I'm really concerned that I'm doing this wrong. I'm changing like a ton of these. But we'll see. I believe that there's only so much damage we can cause. All right, there's a couple more references. Here's one. Where's our bounds? Buffer dot AABB dot view absolute. My shoulder has like all of a sudden started to like scream at me, which is not great. Not a good feeling. I'm not sure. I guess I was doing some amount of manual labor yesterday. And it never feels like much in the moment. And then the next day I'm like, wow, I'm old and out of shape. And then this is also, we're turning this back to absolute. Oh, we're just getting rid of these functions. Don't need these functions. All right, was that all the errors? Did I cause any horrible, tremendous problems? Probably. Crash. Immediate crash. Immediate devastating crash. Nope. Sick. Behavior seemingly right. Seemingly. I enjoy that I can just dip down. The camera just follows me along. Up. Going up. Yeah, this is great. Because I feel like I'm not going to touch the camera controls unless I want to like really reposition. Having the camera automatically move with me is like pretty nice. All right. Oh, there it is. There's the freak out. There's the occasional freak out as the tool system and the flood fill system have occasionally a minor disagreement. Yeah, there it is. But it reaches stability again. It eventually converges on a stable stable reading of things. Just sometimes it freaks out. Looking great. Yeah. It seems like our little refactor there caused nothing too bad. Yeah, so I think tomorrow I want to have these. I want to set up a different set of boundary markers. We'll have a dotted boundary marker and we'll double the build area and come up with the actual maximum build size, which I think is going to be 64 by 64 by 8. We'll set that up. And then we're going to have dynamic markers, which is just going to be the used rects for each. Actually, it might be an AABB for the whole space that's actually being used. Just so you can see kind of the buildable space. Ideally, the cool thing to do would be to like actually change the space and move it around. But I think we're only going to do that when we save. Like when we save, we'll trim all the unused space. And allocate a new span at that size. And create a new AABB. But while you're in build mode, we might as well just use the whole buffalo, right? I have a meeting to go to in 10 minutes, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. But yeah, I think we're looking okay. We're looking okay in our little cubic carving, whatever this is. No errors. No errors is good. Modestly productive day today. Pretty happy with it. It's been nice. There was a nice set of people here. Decent viewership today. I appreciate everyone hanging out here. Let me cue up the music. Diginanigans, same thing you're doing on your map editor. Canvas is an infinite size, so you just reset 0 is on save. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. I'm afraid to do that during editing. Unless now that we've like put everything onto a different thread, we don't really, or on multiple different threads, Now that we've threaded it out, we don't really care. Eventually, we will probably care more, but by then, hopefully, we've optimized things like our flood fill and stuff like that. So we won't care as much, but we're still going to need to come up with some synchronization points and things. Because like right now, our unsafe multi-threading stuff is fine, but that's only because we're not reallocating the spans. So we're not changing the size of the spans ever. So we're not accessing like invalid memory addresses or anything. We're not doing the scary, dangerous things, which is possible. We have a pretty safe playground to do that in. The worst thing that happens is those visual freakouts, but eventually we'll care. But our rallying cry for this channel is let's not worry about that right now. And that's what we're going to do. Not worry about that right now. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. P. Gorley, Poolbox, No Jewel, Pheasant SC2, Diginanigans, Ryson, Scott Hopkins, Scott McDonald, the double Scots. You get credit for 2 people, Digi. Other Digi2. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, aka tomorrow. Bye.